have anyone who's good for scouting parties.
Yeah.
Well,
No,
I mean,
no, you do not.
we need some of those rangers.
We sure do.
Good for that.
An alternative group would be warrior druids.
Yeah, I imagine too.
Mm-hmm. They're certainly very familiar with wilderness.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
But no one wants to have anything to do with the druids.
Not really.
You know, it's not like we don't want to, but there's so much to do. So time.
Yes, keep in mind that you're not the only adventuring party out there in the world, and that these problems will disappear or, you know, change or get worse as time goes past.
Generally, let's assume that some god outcome doesn't just come down and solve all the problems. But I mean, that'd be nice. But I doubt that's going to happen.
But no, who puts out a job?
But
And the more good we do, the more help we're going to get.
As Goger did note, though, this world is going to hell. Yes, that tends to be what happens whenever you're reaching the end of an age.
Yep. Yeah.
All this shit goes into chaos.
All the people living their good lives, we're not saving them because they can continue just growing fat and happy. We're saving them so that they can learn how to fight when they're needed.
Yes, the server is online.
Right.
I'll be right back.
Server's online, time to BRB.
Could not load campaign.
I'm gonna get my shade mail.
Yeah, I cannot load campaign either. Connection refused.
Change again?
God damn it.
Well, I guess then we can't play.
It wouldn't be so much of a problem anymore.
That's
No,
right,
I'm
you solved that population problem.
not
Server's
what I
back
meant.
online.
Man, Goger, something's wrong with your webcam. There we go.
Yes, I also do want to express that you guys do not have to go to Kavanaugh itself in order to lift the siege. The minimum requirement is 3 armies. If you send at least 3 armies, that will be the minimum thing for completing the mission.
Oh.
And the siege will be lifted.
Well, we have 4. We should send 4.
You could certainly
That
spend.
means we don't have to fight the Frostfist.
You do not
We just
have
want
to
to
fight
kill
the
them
Frostfist.
all. Yeah.
That's right. Now in that case, there would probably be some complications in that the Frostfist would probably escape, but his army would be gone, and you would lift the siege.
He'd be super pissed. But you know
I mean,
what? We're gonna be in Moonbreak soon, so
I mean, it's just like he's resupplying and having some fun before he continues heading south. You know, this is on the way.
yeah.
But that's one option, so that you folks can just send the NPCs. You go deal with it. The results won't be as good as if you go there yourselves. But if there's something else that you want to do, something that you think is more pressing, you can do that.
Such as soon as possible, because I know Sheep wants to, for example, go up to the moon wreck as soon as all Opron Zero done.
Well, it says critical. Like, I mean, that's, you know.
Yes, Sheep has pretty much been like, pants on head, what the shit does God mean? Ever since I adjusted that.
It's like the advisors were like, actually, we believe this is really fucking important.
I mean, either it's critical or it's critical. Who knows?
I don't even know what the fuck that means.
There was a minor necromancer up there. It's already been dealt with by the dwarves. We could just go home again.
The dwarves would be busy with other things, like the orcs that love to spawn in the frost range and head for warmer weather.
So, Dark, you got like bonus PP, didn't you?
Sheep and Dark both brought extra political power to the table.
My.
There were side effects because I spent 2 5s.
Yeah.
You-
Well, you know, 5s. Oh,
But you know, side effects are fine, right?
yeah.
Yes, side effects
does-
are fine. Isn't that
How-
right? Isn't that right, Sheep?
Did Sheep get some side effects as well?
No,
Well, everything that everyone rolled was 5s.
Oh, don't worry about it. It's fine.
Goger's sitting over there shaking his head like, oh, we're fucked. We're so fucked.
Hey, Goger, we're gonna do fine. We're gonna do fine. Also,
Yeah,
move my
so-
camera over here now, so I put you on my
You should
So-
unmute your microphone too, Goger.
That would
Do you
help.
guys just want to send all our armies against the Frostfist then?
I think that would be better. We could even get the garrison as well and
Yes.
throw
Yeah,
everything.
I'm thinking all 4 of our land armies, and then while that happens, we can send the warships to Proudfort to prepare that by hunting the corsairs there.
Don't we need
What?
2 Imperial warships for that?
For that, we only need 1. It's the Cape Thunder one.
Ah,
We need 2
right.
for.
It would be nice if we could also somehow get engineers before we leave towards Newport.
Well, we
so
have
that-
enough PowerPoints now.
But we need 4 for Proudfort.
Yes, but we'll get more if we kill the damn grinder worm.
Indeed.
Oh right, we
Super
get we get another PP from killing the
We get-
Frostfist. from
Yes, and we get
breaking the
2
siege.
if we actually manage to defeat the damn grinder worm.
Which we now have a device for him not sneaking up on us, so it's our
Yeah,
best chance.
that last time he basically got his surprise round and then we left.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
We don't-
hopefully-
it does make me happy at least that we have to not fight the Frostfist and then immediately afterwards the grinder worm. That'd be
Yeah,
nice.
we can't have to spend all our resources on one of those things, so it's...
And everything considered, bandits are not the smartest people, and I don't think our combination of units are going to be terrible against bandits, even if they have monsters with them.
Mage, you know, we've already seen what mages can do to a hero.
Yeah, mages are pretty
Clerics are, you know,
wild
clerics all-
against things that they can blow up. I think
So are you folks going to be traveling with your group to Newport then, and then split off to fight the grinder worm?
yeah, I think that's the idea.
I think that's
We
the
would
best option.
we would then perhaps acquire cleric engineers, you say, and just ferry them with us.
But then we'd overload the ships essentially. Although I guess they are already kind of overloaded with like
You can-
three
We
groups.
could.
You can
Guys,
fit
we
4
could.
armies on one group of warships, but anything over 2 basically removes the fighting capabilities of the warships.
We could. We could. Oh, that depends on how much the price raises. If we got both engineers and another warships for basically for PowerPoint.
See,
Price.
naval warfare in this game is highly dependent on 2 things: setting the enemy on fire and ramming. When
have
you're
mages.
when you're completely overloaded, you can't really maneuver to avoid being rammed. And you can fucking throw as much shit as you want at a ship. You're not stopping its velocity.
That is true.
We gotta summon ponies. Huh?
We will create
Yeah.
a wall of summoned creatures.
Building wall of pony flesh to like protect the ship.
Yeah.
if
like
we get
piles
both,
into it.
if we get
Are
both
those mages that
warships
happen to be
and
like an army of summoners who just put people in the way?
So I would suggest we just take the risk. We get 1 unit of engineers in access, then we take our enormous fleet of people to Newport. Let our armies deal with the Frostfist. We go deal with the grinder worm, and that puts us at 5
Ship.
PP.
And the ship begins to hunt at Proudfort.
Yes, ship at Proudfort. That, assuming everything goes right, we'll have like 5 armies, one of which is engineers, and 5 PP. Which
And
means we can start
station
with
probably the
Proudfort.
garrison and the people to do Proudfort.
Yeah,
that
garrison
takes a
and the
year,
town, right.
so. Grimith, there's some other things like moving or like putting people back on Creel. It takes a year. Would that be basically the reward there? Would that be after a year, or would it be when we started and basically have the people dedicated there for a year?
It would be after a year.
Okay.
Like
Actually-
you're not gonna get the benefits by like pulling out the engineers like part of the way through. Like, you don't feel like
Actually-
rebuilding it. What's up?
yeah, we could actually get 1 army of warships and 1 army of engineers, and we will still have
That
a total
depends.
of 4
It says
power
the
points
price
after we're
of
done.
things increase. It depends on how much it increases. We want to have
Yeah.
enough to begin Proudfort. That's the whole point of getting the engineers.
Yeah, indeed. If
Getting-
it actually increases in power points, then we can't do that. But,
How much, Grimith? Can you explain to us how much the price would increase after purchase?
It would be variable. Sheep did ask this question, and in general, you could look at an increase of 1 per. So if you get 1 army, you would then have to pay 4 positive Emperor dice or 3 PP.
Right. So it'd be all PP we have to get 2 new
Yes,
things.
yes, it would.
and
We
then
need
after all,
4. Let's see. We can get 2
4.
from fighting the Grider Worm. We can get
One
one
from
from
the-
defeating
Well,
the Frostfist,
you
and
folks
then
can
1
do-
from the Corsairs.
You folks can discuss this in character, as it is now session time. Gather around. It's time to play 13th Age. How about that? Quick reminder of things mentioned between sessions. Oils and runes can be used on ranged weapons, so I'm changing my ruling on elemental oil applying to ammunition. Also, your characters can only be affected by one potion at a time. I don't think this has come up, but this is listed on the shopping list and it's a reminder. So if you drink an energy resistance potion at the start of combat, and then consume a healing potion during combat, the energy resistance goes away. Are there any volunteers for a recap, or shall I roll a d4?
I think I remember everything we did.
Okay.
So I'll give it a try.
All right.
Last time, I believe we started in Newport. We started with the introduction of my character. As it turns out, he is an elf cleric commander, and to test the ropes of the new group composition, we instantly moved to Creel to clean it of all its monsters, while our wizards at the time dealt with the Galahedron menace at the Bitter Meadow Caverns. That took a month, and we learned each other pretty well, and all the awkwardness of a new party member got dealt with inside the, month of damn Creel work. After that, we went to Santa Cora, where we began fighting Ettercaps, and they were terrible. They silenced me for the entire battle. But otherwise, we dealt with them pretty well, I think, generally speaking. After that, we turned Coast to Horizon, where we visited with violent, angry owlbears and a Direwood. They had began to attain some sort of intelligence, and so we killed their leaders and a lot more owlbears. After that, we went to Axis, where we fought a ghoul commander, so to speak. The city had been, it's difficult to say how, but it's sort of been invaded by ghouls and undead that had come on barges that had simply sailed into the harbor and then released them just running into the city. And we dealt with a group of those. Yeah, that's pretty much what we did. Killed a lot of things and toured the Empire.
Okay. Your characters have spent the past several days in Axis, a capital place to be, while Imperial bureaucracy passes temporary control of a warship fleet to you. Yes, temporary, until various threats surrounding the Empire are resolved, or by decree of the royal family. While you've been waiting, you four have been allowed into the Imperial guest houses, a suitable place for champion-tier characters like yourselves. This building is meant for official Imperial travelers, as well as well-connected worthies. Whether you're the former or latter is up to you. On the day the warships are readied, Geráck! There's a scroll waiting for you at the front desk. The parchment is sealed and adorned with both the sigils of the Dragon Emperor and the Dwarf King. The gnome manning the front desk says that a courier, a young boy, delivered that scroll during the night.
Mm-hmm. I see.
Yes.
Well, Geráck will certainly take it and start to read it, I guess.
Okay. He opens it, and although you did escape from reading a letter last time, you get to read this one out loud this time, Goger.
Oh god. I am terrible at this, just so you know, but alright. Oh god. Good starter, alright. We're disappointed and outraged by your failure to uphold your bargain. We approach you in part due to reputation, but it seems our sources were mistaken. You did more than fail to capture Blue Eyes. You aided the intellect assassin within him, upset the Paladin of Honor, replaced by a charlatan of greed. There's no excuse for the months you have squandered on other pursuits, while victory at Logren's Valley roams free. In the body of one's well-respected wizard. You can you fathom the pain you have caused, the lives you have squandered through this deep trail, or are you simply apathetic to the plights of others. Your pet assassin has apparently tarnished your soul. You share equally in ruin, and we will no longer place our trust within you. We have sent notice across the Dragon Empire of your misdeeds. Already you were suspected by your affliction. Now everyone knows your shame. Every pain that monster causes to good people is one that you too will endure. May the gods condemn you for what you've done. Marinda McGregor, Edwin of Mayor. I can't read things aloud at all. I really can't.
5 in-game months have passed since Geráck made a deal with Marinda and Edwin all the way back in Session 25. The complication has spiraled out of control, and it takes a toll on your resources. The group loses its positive die with the Emperor, and Geráck's conflicted 5 with the Dwarf King vanishes. You also lose 1 political power.
Fuck's sake.
Alright.
So no more warships.
We can still get them, it's fine.
No, not them and the engineers. That would be 5 total.
Yeah. Yeah, but then will be...
Just engineers.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Yeah, after we're done, everything will be a total of 1 short.
Geráck has his message.
Yep, Geráck has his scroll in hand. Clearly sent with both official seals of the Dragon Emperor and the Dwarf King, and the names do match the 2 individuals who met Geráck in Newport and informed him about his sister.
He tried, goddammit. Not his fault the goddamn bastard's head exploded.
So is that all a Paladin of Honor needs to do? Just try?
Not really, but still. I didn't foresee that shit happening.
It's to keep trying, even through adversity, right?
Yeah.
Our faith is only tested if it is not easy.
Regardless, there's the ultimate complication from that, 11 sessions ago, spiraling out of control.
Yeah.
It has been 5 in-game months since that happened.
He scorn you.
Well, fuck.
Yeah, but, folks are welcome to still do whatever you might like around in the access area before you leave.
Have we been given, like, a cool, badass room where we can put out a map, like a meeting room of some sort? I imagine they have some somewhere.
Sure, you've been given. It's not as ostentatious as the room in the Arcane College, but it's a smaller room where you could lay out a map on a table.
When we repair Proud Fort, we're going to have the most amazing, like, strategy room. It's going to be, like, hexagonal and, yeah. Well, I suppose we have had some new information regarding certain missions. The Frost Fist has moved. Their problem, the Druids have problem with the hum. Things look a little bit different than they did before.
Including Jasmine.
Aranas would certainly come to Geráck and perhaps ask if a meeting is required for our further movements. He believes we've done good in the Empire and has gained many resources. Now it is perhaps time to put them to good use.
Indeed. We should perhaps have a short meeting before we leave, but I think we're pretty set on what we're going to do.
All right. I shall follow your lead then, if you will so inform me what we're going to do and what we're going to be doing. I shall give all the aid I can.
Alright, I just assumed we had talked about this before, but yeah.
We can do the final decisions, like, now in a short meeting.
Yeah. So I guess we'll gather in the meeting room.
Yeah.
Jasmine certainly looks a little bit different meeting up than usual. She has her cloak drawn over her. and is not in the best of. She does not look the most amused, and an odd smell, almost like wet bugbear, follows her in.
So what have you been up to?
Well, I've come up with a few things recently, as well as, unfortunately, apparently the mages in Horizon made a mistake. Remember how I informed some of you that I managed to get them to give us some favors? Well, they had a short experiment which went slightly wrong, and she draws down her cloak as, like, part of her face has strange, like, coloured blotches and weird smells coming from her.
They turned part of you into a bugbear?
Not quite, just a magical accident. It will supposedly go away in a few months. Just deep breath.
Well, I hope this purely affects your appearance and not your actual person.
I feel fine.
Good.
Other than the bitter taste of almonds in Jasmine's mouth, yep, she feels fine.
She pulls the cloak back up. Anyway.
Alright. Geráck looks a bit concerned, but let's go for now.
For the rest of the session, you can look forward to Jasmine's oscillating appearance, as well as bodily odors. From strange colorations appearing in her eyes, to like the pupils turning into slits, to like splotches, almost as if she has large birthmarks on her forehead or cheeks, to her teeth suddenly becoming yellowed and stained, to her fingernails becoming yellowed and stained.
If this magic could be replicated, in the court would love it. It would be something entirely new, I believe.
Oh, I do hope that the mages in Horizon do not manage to perfect that particular ritual. I, too, had some discussions with the people there, and I'm sure that they would more than enjoy doing a similar thing to me.
Jasmine kind of looks away a little bit, almost slightly embarrassed as she tries to get her, just her cloak slightly. Anyway,
Well,
other than that, though, they did, of course, in case any of you did not hear, give me this. She kind of reaches in and kind of brings up well, I'm not exactly sure what it looks like, but in simple and magical sensor. This was given to me by the mages. These were given. Separately. This was given to me by some officials here in who are interested in removing the grinder worm for good. And, well, in simple, the orders to get rid of it, and this should provide aid so we do not get surprised, like last time. Though, knowing the bureaucracy, if we don't do it quickly, they're going to get quite upset.
alright. I guess that's something we'll have to deal with right away then. I have some bad news, I'm afraid.
Thing to do. I believe if Lady Jasmine has made an obligation to this to fulfill this duty, we should put it in our utmost list of concerns.
Furthermore, there should be a decent amount of reward for removing the grinder worm.
Our reputation must be one that can be trusted, after all.
Indeed, and on that note, I do have some bad news. And Geráck will sort of unscramble the parchment and just start reading it. And afterwards, we'll say, I don't believe you, Jasmine, and you, Aranas, have heard about this before, but there was a certain individual in Newport that I was tasked with bringing to justice and bringing here to Axis, in fact. However, when we engaged him and tried to capture him, his head exploded. And I was unable to procure him for these individuals.
His head exploded?
Indeed. It turned out he was an intellect devourer, and his head exploded and he escaped.
Grimith, would it, as a champion tier character, be fair enough to know what that being is?
Yes, you would have some basic understanding of what an intellect devourer is.
All right. One says, I have never encountered such a being myself, but from this it sounds like you were more than just failed to capture it. the letter says that you aided such a thing. How could this be true?
It also mentions that it now roams in the body of a once respected wizard. Is it just my own paranoia, or does that mean what I think it means?
I believe it does.
I think it does.
I'm not
I
entirely
believe that-
following.
I believe that the creature is now inside our prior friend, Dwarf Harska. Which we also had, no idea of.
He travelled over some time and then left in what was a spectacular betrayal, looks to Aurelia. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes. Although with this news, I am not sure if I should be relieved or even more angry than before.
Depends
It
who you're
does
aiming
mean that this was not actually Dwarf who betrayed us, but this still is far more troubling in the long haul.
It also means that for all intents and purposes, Dwarf is dead.
Yes, and has been for some time.
The reputation of these beings is such that even the loved ones or people who are very close to them will have a very hard time knowing that anything is askew. With work such as ours, I can only imagine that, well, personal change is not something that is entirely unforeseen. It is something that happens, and as such, even minor changes could perhaps be set up to have causes in the events that have happened prior to whatever change it might be. You should not blame yourself for failing to see such a thing. Even now, we have many duties and many things that call us all over the Empire. Many troubling things that we must look aside from and fail to deal with because there are other more pressing things.
For this particular event, I don't blame myself too much for it. It's something we could not have foreseen and could not have hindered the outcome of. However, it has damaged our reputation a bit, and more mine than you others. But
the reputation you had back in Concord certainly did not state any of this to me as I found it. Your old companions seemed to be very loyal to you and supporting you for the deeds you had done in the Frostrange. With the tales they've told, I can only imagine that this bad reputation will not last.
Let us hope so, and I will try to redeem this bad reputation, and hopefully it will be forgotten in time, but I must live up to what I have done and cut the
Are you a
consequences
faithful
of it.
man?
What?
Are you faithful? Do you follow the wisdom of those above, the divine?
I follow the wisdom of the great gold worm.
A philosopher, then.
Indeed.
It is not a wisdom that is faulty, as far as I understand. And the great gold worm would perhaps beseech us to, even if we are scorned for it, simply do what is good and what is right. In every instance where we can. In every problem that we encounter. If that is done, then it does not really matter how people see us, for eventually, even they, will realize that we have done well. And if they do not, at least we will die knowing that we have.
I hope so, and we shouldn't squander there's much good we can do in this world, even if some of what we have done is questionable in the past.
And yet I also feel like this is an opportunity to kill two birds with one stone, as it were.
How do you mean?
This intellect devourer has taken one of our friends, meaning that we should take care of him. And we know that he has worked with the Black Fang, meaning that he might know things.
That is true. But he is also very dangerous. What
And yet
happened
we
in
could-
Newport could happen when we meet Dwarf again.
And yet we could fix your reputation, get our own revenge, and perhaps find out more about what the Black Fang is doing.
Dealing with him wouldn't actually fix my reputation.
It
what happened
would be
still
a
happened.
start.
Indeed it would.
I too feel responsible in a way. The letter mentions that you were suspect by your affiliation. I can only assume that means me.
I think it does. But I knew all along that this would be a problem in the future. And I do not regret associating with you.
Indeed, these fights and these things we've done would not have been possible without you. Both of you.
We are a
They are
team.
good things.
We're a team. Everyone here has played a valuable part.
Indeed.
Unity is the utmost, most important thing in a group such as ours or in an empire. If the cities of the empire warred and struggled with one another openly, then there would be no empire. The same can be said for the elven shards or the dwarven clans. We must be as them, united in our purpose.
And those who fight must learn to trust each other. And, well, trust in each other's blades, bows, or whatever else they have.
There will always be those who doesn't appreciate what you have done or agree with what you're doing. But
The criminals did not.
we're not here to make friends with everyone. We're here to help the Empire as best we can.
Criminals
We
know-
will aid them even as they condemn us.
Indeed.
Yes. Criminals and nobles both did not agree with what I did to them. Well, and am I supposed to care? I did what was right. And I'll continue to do so.
I suppose that as long as everyone realizes that assisting us is in their best interest, then our reputation does not matter.
In line of that, Aranas will look at the map. Say, it seems that some things have occurred near Newport. If we are indeed to make this area into a bit of a core location for us, then the support in that area is of utmost importance.
Indeed.
He looks
There
at
are-
Jasmine. It was said that we wish to repair this proud fort, perhaps to aid Cape Thunder in the future. That is a noble endeavor, but it must be done with the support of the people there. Currently,
Yes.
there are two major threats to them, it would seem. The problem in the caverns with this grinder worm, something you have already sworn to take care of. It is something, especially if we already have an ailing reputation, that cannot be ignored. Beyond that, there is the matter of this Frostfist, who is, by the sound of things, attempting to burn down a city of no little import.
Indeed so. And we currently have some forces backing us. I believe we should head to the Ground Worm ourselves and send the armies to send Frostfist on the run or destroy him.
As a reminder from God, if you so chose, you could hire the services of the Red Gauntlet Company, that's in Glitterhagen, and they would resolve the grinder worm for you. You would get you'd have to pay for the Red Gauntlet Company, but you would get all of the benefits of resolving the grinder worm.
They're loyal to the Crusader. I don't believe in doing such thing.
You don't believe? I don't believe that they're a help.
No, I don't.
Even though perhaps they've done more good than the Golden Order has for the Dragon Empire. Certainly the Crusader is approved all around for his works against demons. And demons are one of the biggest threats that the Dragon Empire has seen. Isn't that right, Train? It is! Demons and dragons.
Thank you, Train.
They also do a lot of terrible things. Let them go deal with the demons. We can go deal with the Grinder Worm.
Besides, they are expensive.
They are.
I hope this is because the resources would be better spent elsewhere.
Yes.
Then,
Yeah, they do cost 2 political power, but in exchange you get 2 political power from resolving the Great Cold Worm and then 3 positive dice. They don't take those away from you.
That's good at least, but no.
and we could seal the caverns.
Yes, and then you could pretty much transition to...
For 2 PP.
Really, the grinder worm is, like, gone. You don't, like, need the caverns, like, go down there. The problem is that it's really hard to, like, stick an engineer down there to seal them when the grinder worm's around there eating people.